not so familiar with.
Rogers and Hart.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah. That's beautiful, man. Hey, how you doing? Good morning. Been working in the real book? Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
I thought it'd be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I haven't played this one in a long time. Darn that tree.
Oh, yeah.
Morning. Morning, Michael. Thank you. Is it a spiritual center? Is it a general?
Something in the middle.
I know. That's a tribute.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Well, there's a full house now. Great. I'm Karen. This is Andres. As you know, we will be providing music today, and please double check your little pocket computers and make sure they're turned way down, off, perhaps. And if you're able, please join us for a spirited version of our first song, Spirit-Led, Spirit-Fed. Lyrics are in your handout. I'm spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere I know is I'm spirit-led. I'm spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere I know is I'm spirit-led.
fermented version of spirit-led, spirit-fed. Thank you. Ah, wonderful. Good morning on this beautiful, magnificent day. Woo! All right. And it's so wonderful to have you here with your open minds and your open hearts and your open consciousness to just experience the fullness of the goodness of this moment, of this day. So I'm Reverend Victoria Loveland-Coen, and to my left is the wonderful Chris Eagle, who will be anchoring us in meditation and prayer today. And we want to say a little hello to those of you joining online, YouTube or Facebook. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. If you would just put a little "Hi, I'm here," "Hello, it's me" in the chat, and then we can, feel like we're in this together. All right, so Chris is going to light the Divine Light candle, and as he does, we're just going to take a moment and just experience that essential element of fire, the reminder that that light is within us. And we say together our opening invocation, which is on the buff sheet in the seat back in front of you. If you're not yet familiar with that, you can take a look at that. Let's just take a nice deep breath together in our heart center first. And together, there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life. God, the good omnipotence. Let's take a moment and breathe that in. Feel your connection with that omnipotent, omniscient, infinite, limitless good that is all around us, within us, connects us with each other, connects us with all of life. And so it is.
I surrender. I trust and I know. As I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know. As I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I fall into the arms of love.
Allowing that music to just continue working its way into every last cell of your body. Would you clear your laps of anything that doesn't need to be there? And allow yourself to be fully supported by what you're seated upon. And if it's comfortable, close your eyes or gaze softly down, just allowing yourself to relax into being. There's nothing to do here in this moment. You're already being, and that's more than enough. Allow your breath to work its way more deeply into every last nook and cranny of your body. Just allowing that wonderful rhythmic partner that you have that works automatically every day of the year to work its way more deeply into every last cell, allowing it to move whatever needs to come in and whatever needs to go out. Just allowing that rhythm to be the basis of our meditation today. And as you feel that deepening perhaps relaxation, broadening into your full awareness, also realize that you are already taken care of, that you are already fully you. There's nothing that needs to be added, no matter what thought might think that. You are fully you in this moment, and that is more than enough. Feeling that presence grow, that safety and security of knowing that you are more than enough. If there is anything in your life that doesn't yet feel that, invite it in, because you are more than enough in this moment. Allowing your breath, that loving breath that is you, moving through you, to work its way into whatever that might be. Allowing it to permeate all of your memories, all of your hopes, all of your dreams, and all of your beingness in the silence. Allowing your breath to continue deepening your experience and your awareness. If there are any people, situations, places that don't yet feel connected or imbued with this deep presence of love, would you call softly their names aloud, inviting them in? All of these, and many more, those unspoken, as well as for all the fathers and that Father Archetype on this planet, and including those that have felt bondage and are seeking freedom for the upcoming Juneteenth, all of that and more, including the prayers in our prayer box, all of these have been invited into that presence which already surrounds them, which is already present. And by inviting them, we allow it to become more the reality that they experience. The power of love, the power of wisdom, the power of understanding are activated by our intentions that bring that reality closer to their awareness. It is already there. It is already so. It is already done. And so it is. Allowing yourself to come back, or maybe bringing your body into this awareness, whichever way you'd like to do it. If you want to open your eyes, wiggle fingers and toes a little bit. If you want to stretch, be mindful of anybody that might be near you. You might be dancing if you're not careful. And would you take a moment to find at least 2 divine beings? And there are a lot in this room, and there are probably some for you live streaming. And connect with eyes, however you'd like. And I have to confess, that's one of my favorite parts. All right. Would you join me in our vision and mission, which is either on the buff order or service sheet, or on the front of the program, or on the screen? It's been many, many places. And let us say that together, really feeling it work for our own life and as a community. Our vision, we envision the divine light awakening in all. Our mission, we center in peace and love. We connect in our hearts with others. We celebrate our journey toward wholeness, and we empower others to experience their spiritual magnificence. And so it is. And we're going to turn it over to Karen and perhaps Andres. Take it.
This one's going to be solo, but Andres will be on the next. I was thinking about, the Father energy and archetype, and I'll be playing original music today because, as I discussed with Dana, all of the songs that mentioned Father were, they just weren't hitting it for me. So I think of that energy as strength and consistency, also vulnerability, and unconditional love.
It is blue and it is pink, it is warm and it is where I feel you mostly. It surrounds as I succumb, and it will soothe and it will help me know you better. And it is better. You say I am always here. It is better. You are always here. I can feel the distant rumble as the waves from you to me move over the shores of my soul. You are quenching all the thirst as my desire fuels the passion and the fire for your hand. And it is better. You say I am always here. It is better. You are always here. There's a sound that I can hear when you are near, and it will speak right to my deepest core. There's a time that I can see, and pictures swirl around my head. I know you've opened the door, and it is better. You say I am always here. It is better. it is better. You say I am always here, it is better. And you are always, always, always.
Beautiful. Thank you, Karen. It's so heartfelt. Well, good morning and happy Father's Day. Yeah, we're celebrating all the fathers today. How many here actually are fathers? Raise your hands. Oh, a lot. Okay, we're celebrating you guys today. Right? Yeah. Finally. I know we celebrated mothers last month, so it's your turn, all right? And what I know for sure is that we all have fathers, or we all had a father, so we're celebrating that today, too. We're celebrating all fathers. And what I know is that some people have been fortunate enough to have had a really terrific relationship with their fathers. You know, it's like he was just supportive and inspiring and empowering and, you know, really set you on a good path, and he was really one of the good ones. And some people have, you know, had a more complicated relationship with their father, right? Now, I didn't get a chance personally to get to know my father because he died he passed away when I was 5. So I didn't get to know that. I mean, I hear stories, you know, my mom would tell me stories, and I kind of sort of knew he was a good one, you know, gave me love, but I didn't quite get there. And I know some of you have lost your father, you know, along your way. And it's never easy, and I know someone who just lost their dad just recently, and, you know, it's never easy. It's difficult to lose someone we love, particularly a parent, because they're, you know, they play such an important role in our lives, right? They play such an important role. And I also know people who are experiencing their dad aging and, you know, not being the father that they remember. So Father's Day brings up a lot of mixed emotions for a lot of us. You know, a lot of feelings come up, right? And, you know, I think in our father's generation, or if you're really young, your grandfather's generation, the previous generation, they were, you know, living out this older traditional role of father, you know, where you really separate this, what the mother does, that's what the father does. You know, that old traditional thing of being kind of taking charge and making the decisions and stern, maybe even authoritarian, and the good provider, right? The good provider. And sometimes that focus, you know, it sort of outweighed some of the other softer qualities that Karen was singing about, the vulnerability and the love. And, you know, for some guys in, you know, a different generation, that's considered weak. But, yeah, I think it's only recently have we realized how much courage and strength it takes to be vulnerable, to express that love, you know? And like mothers that we were talking about last month when we were celebrating Mother's Day, you know, our father could have been dealing with some deep pain that we never even knew about, or just didn't have a good role model himself. So we practice forgiveness. We practice forgiveness, and we acknowledge what we did receive, right? We acknowledge all the good that we did receive. And here's the good news. Whatever we didn't receive from our Father, we can give to ourselves. We can give, we can learn to give to ourselves and allow the Spirit divine to give to us through us. Because all those qualities that we associate with Father are contained in the Father Archetype. That Father Archetype that is within all of us, male, female, non-binary, everybody. It's that, Carl Jung talked about the archetypes, that there's a series of archetypes that exist in all of us. And it's like this, kind of like this inner psychic blueprint that is within us. And they're fundamental aspects of the collective unconscious that connects us all. Collective unconscious connects us all. And that Father Archetype played an important part in our development. So if we feel like we didn't get some of those things, we can cultivate it. It's within us. We can cultivate those aspects of the Father Archetype that can help us to live a more effective, more courageous, more successful life. It's that kind of forward-moving energy, forward-moving into life. So I'd like to explore some of the aspects of that Father Archetype. And, we can kind of see, just check in and I've got that, I've got that down. Or, hey, maybe I'd like to experience that a little more. Maybe I'd like to develop that a little more in myself. Okay? So the first one is the protector aspect. A protector. And this is, the father wants to keep his family safe, right? That comes from love. That comes from he loves and values his family so much, he wants to keep them free from harm. Well, that's within all of us, of course. We want to protect those that we love. We want to even protect things that we feel important to us. We want to protect the earth. We want to protect the earth. And I think that's a basic, deep need in all of us to take care of and protect the earth. Some people aren't really, connected with that yet, but that's okay. We can help them along. We can inspire them to want to protect the earth, right? But so as a quality of the universal divine within us, that can also translate for us into perhaps setting healthy boundaries. Setting healthy boundaries. That's an expression of self-love. And we can protect our time. We can protect our energy. So protecting our time is about, we can't say yes to everything. Although we'd like to, we can't. We have to honor the commitments we've already made to, others and other things, and maybe the commitment we've made to ourselves to carve out time to nurture our spirit, like we talked about last week. So protecting our time, also protecting our energy. So that protector aspect can help keep us from getting sucked into other people's fears and negative energy. I want to protect my personal space, my energy from, the world's fears or any negative beliefs that might be, floating around in the collective consciousness, right? So very simply, what we can do is just, first of all, become aware of your energy. Become aware of when it shifts, get sensitive to your energy, and when you feel it sort of pulling down, or you feel other people's fear kind of creeping into your space, into your personal space, your energy field, you can imagine, use your power of imagination, and imagine the divine light, white light, surrounding your energy field, your aura, whatever you imagine this to be, and really visualize it. And you know, the power of your word is powerful. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. You can also say an affirmation. So an affirmation that I have said throughout my life, when I'm feeling this pull of this negativity and this fear of the world, I can say, my aura is closed to all but the Christ vibration. And use any wording that works for you, but it gives you a sense that, you know, I'm sovereign here. I am, you know, I'm standing in my own energy. And then the next step is begin to share that love with others, to radiate that love so that others can begin to uplift their energy, right? That's how we are we become a healing presence in the world. So, the next aspect of the Father Archetype is the provider. The provider. So this is, you know, the traditional role of the Father is the provider. Now, fortunately, we're moving away from the idea that the Father is the sole provider, right? That's that evolution in consciousness, conscious evolution that we were talking about last month. We're growing from that. So when we look at that, how that aspect is within us, how that can translate for us, it can translate into taking full responsibility for our lives. You know, to know that we're not a victim of the world, A, we're not a victim of the world, B, we don't expect the world to provide for us. You know, the world doesn't owe us a living. And C, when we allow that divine source within us to move through us, as us, move us into the world and sees the opportunities that are available to us. So I recently got a fortune cookie that said, all good things come to those who go after them. Not wait, go after them. Which I think was an interesting, you know, fortune cookie. We actually have a bowl, all the good ones, all the good fortunes that we've gotten from cookies. We put the fortune, the paper, not the cookies themselves. We eat the cookies, but we put the fortunes in a bowl and we invite people to come over and just pick one. You know, that's your fortune for the day. It's a kind of a fun tradition. So that provider aspect is also helps us to problem solve. You know, when we are facing a challenge and we just can't see our way through, you know, that provider aspect can help us to focus and to really search out potential solutions. And then to discern among those potential things which thing actually is going to work for us. You know? That's that. It's also our ability to set a goal and achieve it. So I think about my mother, and you know, raising two young children on her own, without a spouse, and in a state of deep grief. You know, and here she is trying to figure it out. She's got to quickly, you know, embody both of those mother archetype and father archetype within herself quickly. And we all have, as I've said, we all have those qualities within us, right? But they were dormant within her because being a woman in the 60s, you know, she looked to her husband to fulfill the father part while she fulfilled the mother part. And now suddenly she's got to figure it out. She's got to embrace both, and quickly. She's got to problem solve. And just basic things like, you know, balancing a checkbook. Do you know that women weren't really allowed to have their own bank account until like this, early 60s? And it's like, oh my God, that was not that long ago. So she had to figure that out. She had to figure out how to, how to sell a house. She had to figure out how to get a job that would pay enough to feed both of her children. Yeah, and so she set a goal. And she set a goal to learn skills that would translate into getting a good enough job, that to support everybody. And so she went out and she did it. She achieved it. It's just really amazing to see. Of course, she had 2 kids that were depending upon her, doing this, but she did it. And I'm just like, I was like, God bless her, At that time, to do that, when she was in a state of grief, it was really inspiring. Yeah. So, so another part of this provider aspect is, in addition to providing for ourselves and our children if we need that, is to provide for ourselves spiritual food, right? To seek out and to provide for ourselves spiritual enrichment, spiritual nourishment. Through what? Inspiration from the Sunday service, maybe spiritual books, maybe walking the outdoors and connecting with nature, maybe meditation classes, maybe, programs, whatever. There's so much out there right now, right? There's like a glut of things, of spiritual inspiration and empowerment that you can find. It's everywhere, right? So part of this ability is to discern what is actually nourishing from what we might call empty calories. Sounds good, it's fun, but does it really nourish? So that provider aspect, it seeks out, it discerns what's nourishing from what isn't, and it sets a goal and achieves it and brings it home. Brings it home. That's the provider aspect. All right, so the next aspect I want to talk about is authority. And this is the quality that can have a huge shadow side to it. And it's the one that very often gets abused, right? Some children grow up in fear of their fathers because, he's abusing this power, this ability, being controlling and, just authoritarian as opposed to the authority. But the true power, quality of authority, when we really embrace the spiritual, the universal spiritual concept within us, is about self-authority. It can help us activate the power of our self-authority. That's really what it should be, power over ourselves. And self-authority comes from keeping our agreements, doing what we say we're going to do. And that's true with agreements, the agreements that we have with others, and the agreements that we have for ourselves. So if I am constantly breaking my agreement that I've made for myself, like, for instance, if I say I'm going to do yoga that day, and I get to the end of the day, and I'm in bed, and I haven't done it, I undermine my self-authority. Now, if it's just occasionally, no big deal, right? But if it's a constant thing, you see how you're undermining your self-authority. The same is true if you've made agreements with other people, and you don't do what you say you're going to do. That undermines our self-authority. So this quality, this aspect can really help us with this self-authority. Another part of this idea of authority when we embrace that and cultivate that quality within us, is that it helps us exercise our power of dominion as co-creators with the divine. You know, our power of dominion. In other words, to call forth from the field of the infinite possibility that which we truly desire to experience. The power of our word. The power of our word. You know, we were given dominion. Not to dominate others, not to conquer the planet, but dominion over our mind. Dominion over our mind. So our thoughts and our beliefs and our energy, we have control. We have the authority over that, right? We can choose. And we can choose to work with that one universal mind in shaping our lives. So that's that quality. So the last quality that I want to talk about is courage and strength. And you know, when you're a little kid, you look to your father like, oh, he's the strong one. You know, he's the one that does the difficult work. He's the one that, you know, goes out and fights the dragons and, you know, rights all the wrongs in the family's world, right? And then you get a little older and you realize, oh, he's just human. He has doubts like everyone else. He falters and stumbles like everyone else. He succumbs to temptation like everyone else. So again, all of these aspects, all these qualities that our actual father may or may not have brought to the family exist within us as potential qualities within us. And we choose which ones we want to activate and which ones we'd rather not. It's our choice. So this idea of courage and strength can really help us in so many areas. Linda Martella-Whitsitt, one of our favorite people, an author of Divine Audacity, which I frequently go to for inspiration. She says about that, spiritual strength is our capacity to stand undaunted in the midst of shifting circumstances, to act courageously, and to stay the course. I love that definition. It's so beautiful. So that aspect of the Father Archetype can help us exercise that spiritual strength to stand firm in our truth despite, you know, being pulled by others or a desire to be liked, you know, to stand firm in our truth, to have integrity with our values. To stand in integrity with our values. It also can help us to have the courage to follow divine guidance, even when it takes us to scary places, which it does. Takes us to scary places. So that we could call upon this quality, this courage, this inner courage to follow through. To follow through. All right, so there is one more quality that I'd like someone else to share about this, and it's a UCP member and my husband, Dana Cohen. He's had a little accident with his leg here, so, and I'm going to ask you to stand in front of the mic there. So, yep.
I know I look injured, but I prefer to refer to it as a pause in my mobility.
That's good.
Good one. Okay, so I actually presented this online during the pandemic. I wrote this some years ago, but this is the first time I'm doing it live, something I wrote about fatherhood. So my father died when I was young. As my wife, we share that. I was left as the caretaker of his unfulfilled promise. Because I wasn't ready for such a burden, the light in my soul went out. My stepfather provided security and support, but it wasn't until I learned to become independent that I rediscovered my light. I lived alone for over 20 years and had no great desire to marry or be a father. When I finally did marry and was ready to have children, it took us over 5 years to conceive. The twins are now adults, and occasionally I have this sense that I need to be ever vigilant so as to prevent them from making big mistakes and ruining their lives. This thinking, I believe, comes from a fear that other parents likely consider: loss of control. But in reality, these young women are not mine. I do not own them. They are of my blood, but not of me. They are individuals who belong to the family of man, are influenced by many forces outside my purview, and are ultimately responsible for their own futures. I can help them by reminding them of their relationship with spirit and by encouraging them to make good choices, but assuming control that I don't have can be counterproductive. So what I've noticed is that they are at their best when their individual lights are shining, and I am at my best as a father when I see my job as lamplighter. Thank you.
Thank you. So that's that last aspect, the lamplighter. You know, helping to light the lamps of our children or others. That's thank you. Beautiful quality. Okay, so these qualities of the male archetype, we can combine this with the qualities of the female archetype that we talked about on Mother's Day, and you see now we've got a whole picture. That's an expression of wholeness, bringing both of those together. And you may have noticed that in your program there is a handout that lists these qualities. I want you to take this home with you and work on it. You can meditate with it. You can use it as journal prompts. You know, do some journaling. It's like looking at it going, do I have this? Do I want to cultivate more of this? Right? And work with it and take the one that we have for Mother's Day and, you know, really make that picture of wholeness. All right, so being Father's Day, we wanted to do something a little bit special. And so we have a special treat for you, and we want to invite you to come up as sort of our UCP communion we do with little gifts and chocolate. Chocolate is the way we do communion here, Unity Center of Peace. And so these are little affirmation cards that are here. They're laid down like a dealer's deck here. I got them all. And so don't pick them up and look which one you want. It's, you know, you pick the one you have. And then, so we'll come down the front and you'll pick your card and then go through the sides. And at the sides, you have the two greeters who have a basket of chocolate. Now, the blue is milk chocolate. The red is dark chocolate, I understand. So you can have either one, right? And we're going to have Mary and Joy come up and take one first. And this is for everybody, right? We all have the Father Archetype within us. Try that way. It'd probably be easier. of you joining us online. I'm sorry we can't get this over the lines. But you may want to write an affirmation for yourself based on some of those things in the handout, which I know are being projected now, or it's on our website, so you can find that. Thank you, Karen. All right, everybody have something to chew on here, both materially and spiritually. All right, good. Did you get one? Come on up. Come on up and get a piece of chocolate. By the way, while you're here, I just wanted to point out that our wonderful Mel Karen is graduating this week as part of the Unity Spiritual Direction program that she has been in the last few years. She is having her graduation. So we want to applaud her and give her our love. And good work. Good work. We have a spiritual director in our midst. So you know. Right. I know. All right. Namaste.
I like to call this Father Archetype that you're talking about. Well, I guess all of divine consciousness. I like to call it the big love. So that's what this song's called. The fog is burning off the grass. It's covered up with diamonds of dew. No matter how far I go, I just can't stop thinking about you. 'Cause you're the one true thing that I still want. You're the one sure thing I really know. What are you going to think? Well, it's been a long time, I know. Will you still be waiting for me without your hearts being lined? 'Cause you're the one true thing that I still want. You're the one sure thing I really need. Yeah, it's the one true thing that binds us close. The one sure thing that we're lucky to know. Yeah, it's called the big, big love. Yeah, it's the only one. It's the reason. Yeah, it's the big, big love. It's the only one. It's the reason to love and be loved. Force myself to get up out of bed, walk out and get some fresh air. I tried to remember just how easily you filled my heart with love. 'Cause you're the one true thing that I still want. You're the one sure thing I really know. And it's the one true thing that binds us close. The one sure thing that we're lucky to know. Yeah, it's called the big, big love. It's the only one. It's the reason. Yeah, it's the big, big love. The only one.
Thank you, Reverend Victoria. Thank you, Karen. Thank you all for being part of this, for sharing communion. And yes, I guess those of us in unity, when we bleed chocolate.
Do you have more chocolate?
Just a minute. Anyways. So, as the sweetness of this community, each one of you is part of this in this moment, even those of you streaming online. And part of that is being an active piece of that. And the ways we can give through this community also buoy up not only those that come through the doors, but everyone on this planet. We are, in a sense, that lamplighter. That is our mission as Unity and Unity Center Peace. So by giving to that, you are giving to the lamp lighting of the world. So would you take your gift in whatever form you have? And there are many ways to give, which are in the program or on the slide that you are seeing live streaming. And would you hold that with your heart, with your love, with loved ones as well? And would you join me in the blessing, which is on that buff sheet or on the screen, as we say that and really feel that together, this essence, this love that is us, that we are extending through this community, Unity Center Peace. Together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am.
I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm aware of all my blessings, so much love I can't sit still. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm aware of all my blessings, so much good I can't sit still. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. Happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. Happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled. I'm aware of all my blessings, so much peace I can't sit still. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I am fulfilled.
All right. All right. Would you aim your hands at these bowls of love, power, all of the 12 powers, as well as currency? That is the current representation of it, but that is only the surface. And feel your presence going out, blessing and multiplying over all of the people that are impacted by this money moving out through our economy, through the world, and coming back to us, the givers, transformed into what we need, multiplied and running over. And so it is. And I'm giving Mary the prayer request box, which lives out in the foyer. So if you have anyone or any situations that you would like prayed over, please fill out a card out there, and it gets prayed over by our wonderful UCP prayer team for at least 30 days, and it also goes to Silent Unity. So it is imbued. And for those of you that are new, that have come to us today for the first time, you probably got a welcome pack. And on that welcome pack, there is this card. If you would fill it out, both sides, return it to myself, to Reverend Victoria, to one of the greeters. We have a little gift that we want to share with you. And those of you online, thank you for joining us. And you're probably getting an online equivalent. So with that, Karen, one more time.
Okay, thanks. This is a brand new song, so I want to ask you to join me at the end. We're going to repeat the first line of the chorus over and over, and it sounds like this.
Gonna let, let me get the key first. Gonna let love lead the way. Gonna let love lead the way. Try me with that. Let's try it. Let love lead the way. One more time, just practice. Let love lead the way. Sweet. Perfect. It's gonna be great. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Gonna let love lead the way. We're gonna let love save the day. But in your darkest moments or on the brightest days, you gotta let love lead the way. When I'm feeling down, and when I wanna be part of something bigger than me. When I'm feeling lost, feel the weight of all my fears, I wanna find my way back home. Gonna let love lift my load. Yeah, let love lead the way. We're gonna let love save the day, yeah, sure. But in your darkest moments or on the brightest days, we're gonna let love lead the way, yeah, yeah, yeah. Clap if you're feeling it, I don't know, I'm feeling it. Love, she wants to steer. Love can drive the truck. Love, she has the keys. Love will step it up. There is no denying how it makes you feel when you open up and let love take the wheel. Here we go, everybody. Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. Oh, yeah. Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. Keep it going now. Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. You sound so good. We're gonna let love lead the way. Let love lead the way, yeah. We're gonna let love save the day. But in your darkest moments or on the brightest days, we're gonna let love lead the way. Yeah. Let love lead the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let love lead the way. Thank you. Thanks for participating. That was awesome.
All right, thank you, Karen and Andres. Woo. Sometimes sitting in a chair is not the right way to be with the music, but you all suffered through it grandly. Thank you. All right. So if there are any new guests that didn't get a guest packet, would you raise your hand so that our greeters can get you? It looks like everybody. Oh, there's one over to your left, Mary. All right. So we've got some announcements because there are more things happening here than just Sunday service, and I want you to get the highlights. So we're going to run through these. First of all, coming up, you all have noticed that summer is coming on, and North Carolina has finally found its heat. So that means summer solstice is right around the corner this Wednesday, the 21st. And Mark, Mark Smith and Katja Sage are having a solstice celebration that will happen outside at 6 p.m. on the 21st, this Wednesday. And if you have something that you'd like to bring, they'll have an altar. They're going to do some simple movements and song. They're all involved in the dances of universal peace, so there's accessible things that they do. So if you want to bring a percussion instrument that's portable, not a whole kit that doesn't work, we'll leave that to Andres. Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun. It's starting at 6 p.m. in the parking lot. All right. Also, coming up next Sunday, we have our own volunteer sign-up day. So if you got that energy and that zeal that you want to bring and make this community a better place, we're going to have sign-up sheets and all kinds of information about that coming up next week. So please come so you can sign up. And if you can't make it, talk with one of us that have been up here to figure out how we can plug you in. Also, our beloved Debbie Hall is taking her next chapter in her life. So that means we have a job opening as the administrative manager. So if you or someone you know has that capacity and love, obviously it's not going to be the same as Debbie because you or this other person aren't the same person. But if you have that energy and that desire for that, or know of somebody, would you please, there are job descriptions or flyers in the back, probably something on the screen, and there's also elsewhere. And if you are curious about it, you can talk with Reverend Victoria or send an email to get that going. And now you can see we have flowers here. We have a beautiful arrangement there because we have our primary flower angel, and we are launching a flower angel program. So I would love for this flower archangel to come up, Irina, and tell us more about it. And if you come to the mic over here.
Haven't been called angel for a while. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yes.
I'm new to this community, but I'm not new to Unity. I attended Unity in Chicago for 5 years a while ago, and they had a beautiful tradition. Always have live, fresh flowers in the background. And the first thing when I came here, I loved a lot of things, but I couldn't get over a plastic flowers over there. I just couldn't, and I tried, and I brought my flowers one day, and I thought about it, and what I would love to do, I would love you to join me in gracing this sanctuary in more beauty, and give another opportunity to give, to share, to honor either occasion in your life, a person, event, or maybe answered prayer, or prayer that needs to be still answered, by bringing flowers, by maybe picking them in the wilderness like I do lately, maybe ordering them, maybe a beautiful gardens that you can share the beauty with this place. Giving, it's a great energy. And I don't want to be a guest here who just comes and receives. I want to be a host. I want to bring, share, and make this place better. And the card that I received, I want to share with you. The world is a better and happier place because I'm here. How do I make this world better and happier place? By being here. There's my answer. We have a sign-up sheet. If you feel like you know ahead of time you would like to do that, there is a sheet. If you get inspired during the week or during the time when you're buying flowers for your own garden, that you can see this beautiful rose or could be planted in this garden here, just email us. My number is on the sheet as well, and my text message, so I try to coordinate. So please don't fight. Don't fight. We have a lot of Sundays coming. Sign up. If it's last minute thing, text me, call me, or just bring flowers. We have more than enough space. and you experience how giving is benefiting all of us and you the most. Thank you.
Thank you, Irina. And that sign-up sheet is in the back, on the back table there. As always, we are connected with social media. Thank you for those that are live streaming. And like us, share us, click us, all those things. You know what they are. Also, after every service, if there's something still heavy on your heart or in your mind that is not sitting right with you, we have our trained prayer partners that support us in what we call the 3-minute miracle, which will be happening, if you're live, here in the sanctuary at the end of the hall to the left. And today, our Mel Karen, who came in, that we congratulated, is our trained prayer partner today for that. And for those of you online, you can send an email to prayer@unitychapelhill.org and put your phone number in there, and you will get a phone call back and prayed with by the end of the hour. All right. So, I think last week, if you were around, you saw Chris with a t-shirt. I did not get the t-shirt yet, but we have Unity Centerpiece t-shirts. They're a lovely kind of turquoise, but thank you. Depends, some people argue on what turquoise actually looks like, but we'll go with turquoise. And it's got Unity Centerpiece across the front and has affirmation and things on the back, so you can go to the office after the service and purchase one. And also, we've got our Sacred Cafe that's happening out there, where you can join in wonderful connections and snacks. And we have, if you'd like to dive deeper into what Reverend Victoria brought about, and you've got Father Archetype, and she brought in Mother Archetype, so you can talk about the marriage of those two and all of that in our deeper dive discussion. DDD. And thank you, Gaines, for facilitating that. I think, there you are. Sorry, he's not in his normal place, so I had to search around. So that will be happening at the end of the hall to the right. All right. In terms of children, do we have any? Okay, so we are going to bless all the children inside us and throughout the world. So that blessing, I think, is somewhere on this sheet, if you don't know it. I'm double checking here. Yes, blessing of the children, kind of on the second page. So if you want to aim your hands or just hold yourself, however you want to do that, but there are children everywhere, including your own. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you just the way you are, and we behold the Christ as you. Mwah. All right. Would you stand if you're able? And let us say and invoke the prayer of protection with our I am statements, which is also on that sheet. And let's start it off with the light of God. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
God